David Frum joins me now from Washington. David, was today a fair exercise, a useful one?
It's certainly not. It's certainly, I mean, the people who had power over this hearing certainly are not here to get to the bottom of what happened. They're here to not seem to squelch Dr. Ford the way many people feel Anita Hill was squelched, while pushing this thing through. So in that sense, it's designed to simulate a fair process, but not be a fair process. One thing I think we need to caution all of ourselves, and this is something I try to keep in check, we all think that we are good judges of whether other people are telling the truth or lying, but the truth is we project ourselves into other people. And when we look at the worst kind of evidence is this kind of witness testimony, because what we hear, we think we're hearing someone else, we're really looking into a mirror and seeing ourselves.
So one of the things that struck me and many of the other people watching the testimony was when he talked about the fact that he was a victim of the Clintons because of his involvement in the Ken Starr report. Here's part of his opening statement where he talked about that.
This whole 2-week effort has been a calculated and orchestrated political hit, fueled with apparent pent-up anger about President Trump and the 2016 election, fear that has been unfairly stoked about my judicial record, revenge on behalf of the Clintons, and millions of dollars in money from outside left-wing opposition groups.
So what does that tell us about him and whether he is, given that rather partisan comment, whether he's even actually suited for this job?
Well, it is true he is one of the, we've had partisan Supreme Court justices before, let's not have illusions about that. But what was striking about his opening statement was how much it was for the Fox News audience. I don't think non-conservatives know what the word borking means or attach a lot of significance to it as a reference to the hearings of Robert Bork. It was very much a statement from the heart of the conservative world, speaking to a conservative audience. Just as Donald Trump is trying to be president only for part of America, Brett Kavanaugh in his trouble is speaking to part of America to support him to get himself onto the Supreme Court.
So watching that from here, it was all, it was all astounding. I know everyone was grouped in the United States watching it as well, but what should we as Canadians take from the fact that this is playing out there in the way that it is?
Well, it certainly makes you think that the American system of nominating and approving judges is one not to be emulated, because what you would want ideally to do is have these kinds of allegations heard in private, because this is a complicated matter, and if Brett Kavanaugh is right, I mean, his reputation will never recover from these things aired in public. It should have been screened by the FBI in private, and that private fact fighting should have been all settled long before this hearing took place. The way that this is being battled is one that can, if he is confirmed, will leave many people feeling the Supreme Court contains a person guilty of sexual assault. If he's defeated, which looks less likely now, it will continue to politicize the Supreme Court.
So you say it's less likely he'll be turned down now. Why do you say that?
Well, look, the Republicans have the votes. It's always been more probable than not that he would get confirmed because they have the party discipline. But the thing that will change this is if overnight the Republicans see a lot of polls that say a lot more Republican Senate seats are in trouble than were in trouble 3 days ago, that may change minds.
How much of this is about the midterms and the political climate we're in?
A lot of it is about the midterms, but I think some Republicans are saying, we're willing to trade Senate seats for the Supreme Court seat. It is the 5th seat, the one that locks in a court that had a kind of 4-4 division with one floating judge, Brett Kavanaugh's predecessor, Justice Anthony Kennedy. His nomination, Kavanaugh's nomination, locks in an enduring 5-4 conservative majority.
David Frum, thank you for your time tonight. We'll be speaking with you again soon.